Hey guys, and welcome back to another week of the Both Sides Podcast. I'm here with Chima.
Yeah, guys, what's up? I'm actually energized today. Whoop!
You see how he play? I'm actually energized today. So he don't be energized. He don't be giving you guys his full energy, which is
I do. Ladies, actually, no. Let me text you. Let me give you this. I was in my bathroom today and I was thinking about voice privilege. I was thinking about privilege in general. The privilege people have when they are certain things or possess certain things. For example, light skin privilege, pretty privilege, dark skin privilege, etc. And I was thinking about voice privilege. What people can do when they have different types of voices. And me being a dark skinned guy with a deeper voice, I feel like the stereotype or the privilege I have, I would say, is being taken serious all the time. When the guy with a deep voice talks to you, most times you listen. Like, you just think about it, right? Like, when a guy, if you think about it, like most quote unquote serious guys or somebody that with a deep voice, you would kind of pay more attention to, because it's like, wow, that deep voice kind of commands the room or whatever, as opposed to somebody who has a lighter voice and you think of your favorite comedian, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, they make jokes, so they have lighter voices, right? It's like, can you, as a person with a deep voice, kind of have that hype to you, or do you always have to be like cool, calm, and collected? So I've been battling with it, trying to figure out whether or not I can be hype in a sense. I know I can, but it's just like, it doesn't fit into the dark skin box. I mean, the deep voice box. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my little thoughts, guys. Tell me what you think.
That was very introspective about voice privilege. So you're saying you have voice privilege because people take you seriously because you have a deep voice?
I mean, it depends. I mean, if I want to be somebody who likes to make jokes and be hype all the time, is it necessarily a privilege for me if I can't really be myself? I mean, it's only a privilege, I guess, if you kind of benefit from it, right?
All this introspection about so what about me? Do I have a voice privilege?
I mean, only you can tell me that, do you? I don't know.
You talking about voice privileges?
I think, okay, when it comes to girls' voices, I typically don't like high-pitched voices. So your voice is like a good voice to have for a woman, for me, I think, where it's like, it's not too high where everything you say gets annoying. And it's not too low where I think like, yo, you a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like right there, right? Like, it's not annoying when you talk too much. It's just like, yeah, I can listen to this. You know what I'm saying? No?
Oh, damn. All right, guys. So I got voice privilege. So that means my voice is not annoying and you can listen to it for the whole podcast. Okay. So I hope
there we go. Boom. Both sides plug. There we go.
You know. Anyway, so this week, on this week's episode, since it is May, and of course May brings a lot of graduations, which means a lot of traveling, spending money, congratulations, people doing big things, a lot of people in their complexions. So this episode, we are talking everything graduation, and
yes, sir.
Honestly, we're tackling it from
tackling, guys.
So every week I embarrass myself, and, and honestly, if I did not know me and I was listening to this podcast, I'm like, son, is this girl educated? Like, why does she always trip over her words? But I am trying to speak in a way and use my voice privilege to command the room and my listeners. Okay.
There we go.
A lot of people say, "Oh, Gloria, you kind of have a radio voice." I'm like, shout out. So the next step is to actually speak well, So work with you guys, all right? Anyway, so like I said, we're talking about graduation. So first of all, I want to shout out, and I know I shouted out the last episode, but I'm going to shout out again. First of all, a couple of my cousins just graduated. I want to shout them out too. One of my cousins just graduated from Emory. One of my best friends, as I mentioned last week, graduated with her pharmacy degree.
Yeah. Doctorate. Here we go.
Doctorate, yes. And just a couple other people off the top of my head, I'm not remembering, but it's a lot of things going on right now. No, because there's quite a few people. I've said quite a few congratulations. I'm tired. So,
congratulations to all, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, congratulations to all.
Get that money you deserve.
Word. And the next step after graduation is filled with a lot of questions. As you know,
a lot of questions.
People, you start the job search depending on what you do. If you go to school right after, or you go into the working field right after. But there's a lot of questions. One of the questions is, so what are you doing after? Are you working? Are you going to get your master's? Are you going to med school, law school? What you doing? Where is it at?
Bro, that's definitely. Well, obviously, this is for people who are I guess graduate your bachelor. So that's definitely like there's the top annoying questions. Well, for me, I think, I think probably the number one for me is like, what's next? You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I just graduated. What more, like, can I breathe? I just got my diploma. Like, can I at least sit down and think as to what I'm going to plan with my life? This whole thing where people are like, what's next? Or when will you marry? If you're African, or when you get your PhD, like, nigga, I just got my bachelor's. How am I supposed to jump to PhD? Or what's your dream job? Have you started applying? How much are you making? And it's just, I don't know. I think those are the top annoying questions for me. Guys, I would say if you have your own, if you want to add something to that list, definitely use the hashtag #AskBothSides. Tweet us, Instagram us. For you that don't want to pay attention, text us, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Like, the graduation season comes a lot of pressure, I guess, from, especially, I guess this is more so for Africans because it's what I know. Caribbeans are probably the same way as well, and Black Americans, depending on, I'm not going to say that. Ooh, I was about to.
Yeah,
I was about to step on. I was about to step on mine.
Who also does that as well? I know Asians, like Indians.
Asians, yeah.
Yeah. Very big. Listen, when it comes to that school thing, the Africans, Indians, the Asians, like, it's one of the same. So what's next? When are you gonna marry? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, because I do have a lot of friends who are Indian as well, like, it is the same question. Like, I go over to my friend's house, I call everybody auntie. I don't care who you are, because I don't, I can't do the whole, hi, Mrs. What,
first name. Yeah, or that, yeah, it's weird.
Or first name. So, hi, auntie. And they're like, oh, Gloria, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm like, I'm trying to avoid it from my aunties. I'm trying to avoid it from my parents. Nope. I still got experiences here.
Bruh.
So, it's honestly prevalent in a lot of cultures. And I know, just personally speaking, from undergrad, and honestly, it doesn't even start at graduation. It really starts as soon as you enter college, I feel like.
That is true.
Because it's kind of like, oh, so what are you studying? Oh, okay. So what are you planning on doing with that? I think that doesn't make a lot of money. Have you ever tried, and the Africans' number one response, if you're doing something they don't think is going to make a lot of money, and let me speak for the women, okay? Have you tried nursing? No. Actually, no. Nothing wrong with that, but that's their default response to everything. So, anyway, that wasn't in my case, but I hear it so many times. It's ridiculous. It's like, if you're not doing anything in the medical field or the law field or engineering field, science, something, IT, it's basically, oh, so what are you doing? What else is
but see, that's the question. I mean, because I don't know if it maybe because I'm older now, and when you get older, you have more responsibilities. Your parents tend to, I think, at least for my part, talk less or when you have your life somewhat together, right? They tend to talk less and try to tell you what to do or where to go with your life and stuff like that. So, do African parents or parents in general who are really strict still, or especially like Indians, Asians, Caribbeans and stuff like that, do they still push you towards the whole STEM degree, like, or the law, make sure you're a doctor or nurse or engineer, all that? Because I feel like nowadays, I think, at least with millennials, we become a lot more vocal as to what we want to do, especially if we have a plan or like some kind of course of action as to what we're going to do with our lives. I feel like parents are kind of backing off from the whole, you have to go towards that whole STEM law route. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like that's where it's headed. Like, I don't know, is that?
Yeah, I feel like it has definitely eased up, and it definitely has eased up even towards the end of my undergraduate degree, because even for myself, I only had one goal. I promise you, since I was like 8. and it was to be a doctor. That was the only thing. You couldn't tell me that wasn't going to happen. Okay, so graduated top of my class in high school. Bam, I'm doing it. Bio major in college. Bam. Get in there. And I feel like I've talked about this before on the podcast. I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. And not only that, like for like ourselves, like also for like your parents too. I feel like it's also bragging rights as well. So,
bruh, we're definitely gonna get into that because that's another question I was gonna ask. Like, we'll get into that, but go ahead, continue.
I would never forget when I told them that I didn't feel like I want to go to med school anymore. Mind you, my cousin was also in med school, so it was there. It was like, okay, this is happening, whatever. I was like, yeah, I don't want to go to med school anymore. What? Oh my God, my mom cried. She cried so hard. She was like, I don't understand. What are you going to do with your life? I was like, oh damn, I didn't say I was going to drop out and live on the streets. Okay. I just said that I don't think I want to be a doctor anymore. And I was like, oh, I already know where I wanted to go to med school, what hospital I wanted to do my residency. I wanted to be a dermatologist. Like it was, when I say it was set up, like this is exactly what you were doing. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, it was a lot of talk.
It's very interesting.
Go see the pastor. Let's pray about this. Let's see if that's
dramatics, yo.
Dramatic. Anything from my mom is prayer. Oh, we need to go to take you to the church and put this in prayer. Which I understand, but I was like, I just don't. And I don't think that prayer is going to solve this one. Because I just don't want
No, but, and I have a similar story in a sense because as a child, and I was thinking about this, Chima is like super introspective. I'm always thinking about the whys behind everything I do. And, going into Temple, bio major, yes, I want to be a doctor, go to med school. Like when I say I planned out my life by 25, I would have been a doctor. I'd have been making 100 and so amount, driving so car. Like you couldn't tell me anything, yo. So I got into college, got into Temple, bio degree, tested into, Calc 1, tested into Chem 1. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much ahead of the curve. We doing this, whatever. Passed Calc 1, passed, Chem 1. But funny enough, like I tested into Chem 1, but I decided to take like the Chem 1, the class before that just to kind of prep myself to get to the main one. So you couldn't tell me anything. Like I knew I was going to be a doctor. Got to a semester where I had to, and let me preface this by saying this. I was always a kid where I didn't really need to study in high school. I was the type where whatever was in class kind of stuck. I do the homework and boom, that was it. No, complete a whole different nature from college. Well, depending on the college you are. Some colleges, but Temple was good enough where you actually had to study.
The curriculum isn't as strict.
Listen, I know no shade to any of colleges like Cheney or Lincoln. JK. Just kidding, guys. Woo, maybe Del State, but just kidding, guys. But
Yo, you're an idiot.
But none of those schools like that, like Morgan or anything like that. But just I went to a good school where Temple, you actually needed to study a bit. You couldn't use calculators in math class and like calc and all that. There was none of that. You actually had to do the work. So I still had this mentality from high school, bruh. But I still had this mentality where you could come from high school, you just go to class, you don't need to study whatever. So Chem, it got to a point, I did that throughout my whole first year, I guess, where it was like, I'm more so math and science oriented. So like math kind of breezed through it or whatnot. Chem kind of breezed through it. My mom's a chem major too, so she helped me as well. So it got to bio, right? It got to bio one semester, bio 101. No, was it 101? Bio 111. The hardest bio class with Dr. Hassan. Yeah, the first bio. And Orgo. I decided to take those two classes in the same semester, right? Everybody was like, Chima, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I got this, ain't shit, nothing. I got this. So I go into I think his name was Dr. Hassan. I can't remember. Evil guy. And he was telling us how the purpose of his class was to weed out, the weak, because everybody comes into the temple as a bio major, blah, blah, blah. The class is to make you fail. So the people who pass obviously know that they want to do this. I'm like, nigga, you don't know who I am. Okay. I do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and the first thing with him is like, you had to come to class because you had those like quizzes you had to use the clickers for.
The clickers, yes.
Yes. So I recorded your answer. So if you don't go to class, obviously you miss a quiz. Obviously, if you miss the quizzes too many times,
but if you
kind of fail the class.
You gave it to your friend.
You gave it to your friend, but sometimes, you couldn't give it to your friends in time, whatever. So I missed a couple classes, whatever. I'm like, bio is not like chem or calc where it's like formula based. This is just like reading and stuff like that. Guys, I hate reading. You couldn't get me to read anything. Like if it doesn't have a video attached to it, I'm not reading or I'm not watching. Like I just can't do it. So I'm like, okay, bio, I could probably do this. All I do is just, wing it a bit, go to class, listen to what he's saying a bit. I could probably pass the exams. Bruh. When I take these bio exams, I got like teenage grades out of 100. Like, bruh, what I tell you, like 13s, 15s, and my heart started thinking, all right, this is the first exam. I got, you started doing the math in your head, like, okay, what do I need to pass? This is first semester, first meeting.
One question. What is the curve, dog?
Bruh, real talk.
What is the curve? What is the curve?
Yo,
that's all you needed to know.
But I don't know. Was there really a curve there? There was, but it was like slight. It wasn't because the purpose of the class was to weed you out. Yeah, there wasn't really a curve.
They had a curve. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right. So what can I do? End of the semester, bruh. This is the first F I've gotten in my life, and this is at college level. I got a flat straight F, yo. Like F, like a big. There's not even an F plus F minus, like a big fat F, right? I'm like, cool. So meanwhile, I'm taking Orgo at the same time I'm taking bio, right? So I'm here trying to juggle between two hard classes, and like Orgo is the chem that kind of makes or breaks you. So I'm like, yo, all right, the bio is not looking too good. Let me at least try to get chem, bruh. Between trying to juggle bio and chem, guess what I got in Orgo? Nice fat F, bruh. 2 Fs in one semester.
Like
oh God! Like I'm glad, bruh. Listen, and it's funny. It's funny to say this all now because now obviously I'm successful in my field, or I'm at a point where I can talk about this and laugh about it. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be talking about this, guys. I'm kind of talking.
You were like, oh, I struggled a bit,
bruh. So I'm like, all right, Orgo, and my mom's a chem major too. Keep in mind, so anything chem related, and you don't pass while she's in the house. Yo, it's like, you might as well just had I don't know, just dropped out from school pretty much. So, that semester comes, I get like 2 Fs, maybe a C and maybe a B or something because I'm focusing so much on those 2 heavy classes or not focusing, I should say. The other classes kind of took a hit. And plus college, like I played a lot. Like I had the potential
Chima was live and direct on the wall. Bruh, if you went to Temple University, you know what that is.
I was chilling. Like
in the library.
I cut class all day. I just sit, bro. We go, bro. Let's say like a typical day, a typical chill day at Temple with a full load of classes is me going to the library to get my stuff together. We're thinking about going to class right now. I see one of my friends. Oh, we start busting it up. Next thing is like 5 minutes before class. I'm like, I could be 5 minutes late. Oh, damn. I'm already 15 minutes late. All right. Let me try to go. Oh, damn. I'm 30 minutes. Might as well not even go, cuz.
Yeah, I'm not going.
There's no point in even going no more. So by the time we do that and all you
for the record that I did not follow these people's shenanigans. Okay. You might have caught me there once or twice, but Gloria ass was in class. Okay.
And
I ain't playing the game.
It's so fun because, and you like, sometimes like we go order food, we come back to, and if you were at Temple during the time we were at Temple, the back of the library was the African section. Like you couldn't take, the Africans live and direct were just back there making all the noise in the world, singing, doing dumb shit that you're not supposed to do in the library. So,
right.
I missed a lot of classes. I didn't focus that much. But anyway, so I'm like, all right, I have 2 Fs in this semester, with other classes. I come back home and normally like, because the previous semesters I coasted through it, I was like, I had a 3.8 my first year at Temple. And most times because most kids come to Temple and they're like, you know, they're away from home, they're free. You know, most times you suffer the most your first semester till then you start to get serious. It was the opposite for me. I didn't really have friends. I just did my work and went home, whatever. So I had a 3.8 or 3.9 first semester, light work. Then and normally when I get when I get good grades, obviously you hype, you tell your parents, hey mom, look what I got. You know what I'm saying? Got these A's on the report card. Ain't shit. That was just me. This summer, right? Guess who was quiet? Chima was quiet. I didn't say not one thing about my grades. And for somebody who's usually hype about the grades, that raises suspicion, right? So one day I'm at the barbershop. My mom's like, she texts me like, Chima, I need to see your report card. Bruh. You guys remember that scene from 300 when I think Leonidas kicked the guy into that bottomless pit? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Leonidas did to my heart. Like, he kicked that thing straight to the bottom of the abyss, bro. And so I'm going home like, yo, all right, how do I pack my bags? How do I leave and run away and never come back? You know, what's the course of action? How am I going to survive? Is it possible to survive on maybe a few dollars? Maybe if I get some money from her and just act like I'm running away, maybe she could focus on me running away and not talk about my degree, my grades. But all this thing going through my head, right? So, I get 2 Fs and she's livid, like completely livid. How can you get 2 Fs on your report card? Where are you from? Do you not see me in this house? In organic chemistry, you're carrying F. Do you not see me a chemistry degree? What is wrong with you? Well, bro, straight Fs, bro. Like, and this is like the first F I've gotten, and it's at the college level. It's not even like at high school, whatever you can recover. College level,
right,
so
you in first quarter, it's like,
bro,
right.
And think about this. College, like, when you get like in high school, it's like, okay, free education. College ain't no free education. Like, you have to retake those classes and pay for it. So,
right.
So I make it to the point like, okay, this doctor thing, I'm not going through bio again. I can't do it. I can't fade the reading. I don't think, let's say I hated reading more than I like being a doctor or wanting to be a doctor. So I couldn't do the whole reading thing. Yep. So I'm like, you know what? Bio, that F is just going to sit there because I'm not retaking it. But I retake Orgo. I passed Orgo. And I went on to my engineering. And I told my mom I was switching majors to engineering from biology. And when I say this woman did not talk to me for 2 weeks straight, not one word,
my.
Because she,
wow.
I think now looking back on it, the reason I did want to become a doctor was because my mom, when she was growing up, her dad told her to be a doctor, but she instead decided to do chemistry and try to get a chem degree. And for those who are immigrants or have immigrant parents, you know that when you come from another country with your chemistry degree or your science degree or your degree in general, because America is so pompous, they think you don't know anything. They don't really regard your degree as anything. So she pretty much had to start over when she came here. So she had this whole idea of being a doctor and wanting to, you know, be stable in society and, you know, job security and whatnot, and kind of projected that on me. So I think most times me wanting to be a doctor was more so as a result from her not becoming a doctor or trying to fulfill her dream or whatever, you know, and that's where I came from.
Because I never had that thought ever. Like, my parents did not even instill that into me, that the African blood is strong. I think it was just in my DNA. Like, okay, you're going to be a doctor. I could genuinely say they never pushed that on me, but it's not like they steered me in any other direction either. They were like, oh, she's going to be a doctor. Like, my dad was heavily involved in my college process. He was heavily involved in everything that I did. From my
parents were not.
Whatever else.
At all.
Because, no, my dad was. Because guess where I was going? To med school. So he set me up to be in the best position. Whatever. Yeah. So actually, he was not pleased that I went to Temple University, actually. They were not happy about that at all. Wasn't
supposed to go to Temple either. I was supposed to go to the Naval Academy, got in and all, but either way, that's another story for another day. So let me finish. So this actually goes into something even crazier. So I told my mom, you know, I don't think I want to do.
Your story is mad long.
It's mad long, but it reveals so many parts of me. Even a part I've never really told anybody. I get to it on the podcast. So it got to a point where, okay, I said I didn't want to do reading anymore, anything that was reading based. So, you know, what do I like? Science and formulas. So I'm like, you know what? formulas are easy for me. Engineer is a bunch of formulas, and formulas don't change. All you have to do is apply to certain things, whatever. So let me go for engineering. And my dad he wasn't upset because his dad's an engineer. I'm like, okay, you're gonna go into my side of the business. But my mom was kind of pissed because she wanted to be a doctor. But if you guys know African parents have this tendency to kind of say things very harshly, in a sense where, and I won't say harshly, they say what's really deep down in their hearts without considering what effect it might have on a person they're saying it to. So they can say something like, oh, I regret having you as a child. And to them, it might just be out of anger. But like, when you actually sit down and think about it, like, those are actually like some hurtful words, right? So my mom said some wild stuff to me that I'm not going to repeat it on here, but like, it made me think like, yo, like, bro, is you good? You know what I'm saying? But I know it was probably out of anger at that point. And, with Africans and African parents, there's this, when they want to say something to you, they don't really care about the respect factor. I don't think we take into effect how people's feelings for the most part. It's more so however I'm feeling, because I'm feeding you, because I'm taking care of you. I can say whatever I want to you. So my mom said some stuff, but it was whatever. And it got to the point where like, I hadn't been this low ever because of what my mom said as well. And in addition to feeling like I had disappointed my parents and disappointed myself with not applying myself, that I even considered like bodily harm at that point in time. And my dad wasn't even my dad has never been in the country. He's always lived in Nigeria. So, I wrote an email to my dad telling him what I was thinking and stuff like that. And surprisingly enough, my dad's usually the tyrant, is like yelling all the time or whatever, military background. He was actually like, he had some comforting words like, listen, don't think like that. What you need to do is just, just get serious and focus on the engineering part of this. So I switched my major to engineering, which kind of set me back at Temple because that's why I graduated late, but that as well as not taking college that seriously. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm here now, guys, graduated, thinking about going to get my master's within the next year, making a good amount of money in a good field that I like, so we out here, cuz I say all this to say, study hard, don't play. Right. Finish, don't stay in the library. Go and do your work.
Yeah, don't play. Get your work done. Don't be like Chima. Be like Gloria. Go to class. Cause I was there.
Wow.
And stuff. And honestly, for to Chima's point and to his story, even if your track is a little different, even if you guys did some setbacks, financials is a very real part.
Bruh, for real.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in that financial aid office crying.
Bruh. You know how many times I lied? Okay? Fam. Yo, oh my God. We should make an episode on financial aid stories. I've told them I had kids in Africa. My wife is in Nigeria. I have 2 kids that depend on me. I need this money to finish school. And listen, you have to come in, when you come into financial aid, you have to come in raggedy. You can't come with a fresh cut. You can't come with the latest jeans. I used to come in there with flip flops, maybe ball shorts, a hoodie. I'll make sure I try not to like brush my teeth. Make sure like my hair is kind of scraggly, looking crazy, just so I can get some money from Temple. Listen, I can't make it. I really, if you can just help me with this semester. The money is coming through. Like, the government right now is holding the money, and I just can't. My wife and they depend on me to finish this degree. Please, ma, if you can just help me, I'm begging you. I'm really begging you. Bruh, you know how much I got from Temple? Oh my, you know how many classes I passed because of that? How many tests oh my goodness, bruh.
I'm telling you, it is a fight for your life in the financial aid office. We don't have the luxuries of scamming the system, okay? And so what you gotta do is pray somebody got a heart. And honestly, I ain't do the raggedy thing or whatever else. I literally went in there looking like a poor orphan girl. When I say that, not in appearance, I just look mad sad. I just look like, damn, you want to lend a shoulder to this sister, to this young girl. Like, she needs some guidance. I used to go in there mad sad. And I really was mad sad because it's like, hello, I need some more money. Where the money's at? You keep thinking people got the dinero and we do not.
Right.
I would go in there and be like, I don't even have a story. I just need money. And I promise you, I was like, the story is I'm broke. The story is I can't pay for this shit. Where is the money? And you know what? And I don't even know. It's not even it's something like, even my parents was like, oh, whatever. It's some things are just innate in the blood. You look at the financial package, you look at your semester tuition, the math, it wasn't adding up. Ain't nobody tell me how to do this shit. I would go straight into the office. Okay, what we gotta do about this situation here? Cause I'm not seeing enough Pell Grants. I'm not seeing enough of whatever I need. Let's talk about this. So,
Facts.
so things get very real in terms of like setbacks, in terms of financials, in terms of switching majors. Think you wanted to do something, taking time off to figure out what you really wanted to do. So life happens. So if you graduated in 4, if you graduated in 6, 8, some people hate. Okay, God bless.
You get your degree. The end justifies the means at the end of the day.
Okay, you got your degree. No one can take that away from you. At the end of the day, it does not matter. When I say it does not matter, we all working. We have the same job. We're working. We're making money. I don't even remember. I'm like, oh, okay, I graduated so and so. Okay,
Yeah,
working field. We now got a master's. Like it, as long as you keep moving forward, honestly, that's the best thing.
But let me ask you this though.
Lollygagging at the same time. We got to push forward.
Yeah, that was me. I mean, I think I found my way. I mean, at this point in time, I know for a fact that once I go back to school, like again, school has always been easy for me. In college, the formula for college is really just turning in your assignments. That's literally all it is. Turning your assignments and pass the exams. Study right after class, but it's not, people have this idea that you have to study for mad, it's not that deep. Either way though.
You do need to study, but you know what?
You do need to study, but you don't need to, all those, the same day, exactly. All those all-nighters that we used to fool ourselves doing during exam week, going to the library at 6 p.m., leaving the library at 6 a.m. I was so good for that. And most times, so funny, like, you're there with your friends trying to quote unquote study. Meanwhile, you guys are talking, laughing, fake doing work. Like, college was just so funny, man. College was so funny.
Yeah, it was, but like I said, blessings to all the graduates and stuff. And sometimes you take the, beaten path. And I know we're talking from perspective because we're coming from STEM majors, or healthcare majors, but not all Africans have that same story. Some people actually went straight into what we considered untraditional majors, and they're not untraditional at all.
And they're not.
A certain background. Yes, if you come from a certain background, it is considered unconventional or non-traditional because it's like, oh, is that going to make money? If you're in something like creative writing or journalism or advertising, I don't know. They're kind of like, oh, okay, so more than most majors. So what are you going to do after school? And how are you going to make money? And are you going to go back to school? Those questions tend to come up a little bit more with those majors unless the parents start seeing, some viable options.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, my daughter's a journalist. Did you see her on CNN? She's actually doing such and a third.
At the end of the day, what I learned is that they're going to yell and yell until the money comes through. So you have to make sure the money comes through one way or another. After the money starts coming through, they forget that, they were yelling at you and doing all this and shouting and doing all that. African parents, mad fake, bro. So wishy-washy.
They are. And like to your point earlier in the episode when we were talking about, once they get older, they stop caring. Honestly, it did take my parents a while to get over the fact that their beloved daughter was not going to be the dermatologist that I had said and they had said and so told everyone else that was going to happen. Once they got over it, did the research, I broke everything down to them. It was like, okay, cool. You got a plan.
That's the thing. Yep.
Relax.
You
show them a plan.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I feel like for the most part, you really definitely have to have a plan. And be able to speak to your plan, because most times they ask questions, why don't you do this? Why don't you do it? Always have a plan, I think that's a major part, like, especially if one thing doesn't work out, you pivot, you go on to the next thing. You always want to keep them on your toes. I don't know, hey, this is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. That's how I was able to, then again, I was a STEM major. I was always able to at least keep it moving. And it kept me sane as well, and not really down if one thing didn't work out, because I always had some kind of plan where if I had to pivot into another thing, I could definitely do it. But apart from that, though, I mean, this staying on the whole STEM course and the pressure from our parents. I don't want to use African American. I know we have other listeners as well. Just in general, if your parents are one to kind of push you towards STEM law or some kind of degree that is a traditional degree for immigrants, I would say. Where do you think that necessarily comes from? You know, this pressure for you to be a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer or some kind of health professional, or something with a big title.
I think it stems from, one is projection. Two, they really want to see their kids do well. And even in other cultures, for the most part, being a doctor, being a lawyer is high ranking positions, is positions of power in those countries, and it's security. So once they come here and they, most people can attest to this, especially if you're, first generation or children of immigrants, is that your parents probably worked their ass off to get here. So they're working their ass off to make sure their kids are going to do something that they consider substantial.
That's true.
Substantial to them is, being a doctor, being a lawyer, and certain things like that. And a lot of times too, and even to your, the point of your mom where she was a chemist and wanted to be a doctor and stuff like that, they, pushed that on to their children too.
Yeah.
As to, you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be a lawyer, you gotta be something viable. I mean, like I said, even though my parents never pushed me towards that, I don't think I could have said, hey, like, I wanted to be, I don't know, work in advertising. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that, even though they didn't say which way or the other, I still feel like the tone was set that,
that's true.
This is what has to be done. So I think for them, it's just security. They know it's something that will make a lot of money. It's well respected. Everybody wants to say, hey, my daughter, my son is a doctor, is a lawyer, is an engineer. Oh, they're working on building a new bridge. Oh, she's doing some innovative research and with cells. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she just worked on a big case. You want to be able to brag on your kids because essentially they're your legacy, So how we continue the legacy with, big names.
Which kind of that's where that comes from. Which kind of gets, I guess, to another point, and I completely agree with everything you said, especially more so like the job security where, our parents have come from a land, obviously they're leaving their nation to come into another one for a better future in a sense. Obviously if it was that great back home, they wouldn't need to come here. So, that job security of being in a workforce where, if recession hits, obviously a nurse is always going to be needed because healthcare is healthcare. People are still going to be sick whether or not the economy is up or down. Obviously it's even going to be worse when it's down because then psychological things come into it, which affects you, manifest physically. So health professionals are always going to be needed. Engineers are always going to be needed. People in IT are always going to be, computers are becoming an everyday thing for us. People are still going to need lawyers because people are still going to be stealing people. So those are degrees that I guess during the recession, you are still you're still needed in a society. If you're an artist, yes, during great times in the economy, more people would definitely want your art and want to buy art, but it's definitely slower in times where people don't want to spend money on art. So if you're a curator, people maybe are less inclined to go out and go to museums and stuff like that, so it's why the job security there may not be the same. Now, if I'm wrong, guys, let me know I'm wrong. Maybe during times of depression, they may need stuff like curators and graphic designers or whatever. From what I'm thinking, and at least what was explained to me by my parents, you would still need, that's the reason why, they want you to go through these degrees. Now, I don't think I could ever possibly tell my dad I want to be, in advertising or do graphic design. They just, because they just don't understand what the hell that is. Even though they see it everywhere around them, they just don't know what it is. But, that in terms of like job security as well, that's just like, it just wouldn't work for them. And to an extent, I sort of agree as well. I'm not saying I wouldn't want my child to go into advertising or graphic design. I think I would let them know that if they are going to go into those fields, let them know that, you know, sometimes during times of where the economy may be down, they may struggle a bit. Which is why it is imperative that they take their craft very seriously and be the best they can in their field. Because at the end of the day, if you're good at what you do, it's going to show for itself. So whether or not the economy is up or down, you know, people are still going to seek you out because your work speaks for itself, you know. And I think Anderson Cooper made a point about that when he also came to Temple. I think he was saying that his parents didn't want him to be a poli-sci major or journalism or something of that nature. But, you know, at the end of the day, you have to be good at what you do and go out there and be great at it so you can succeed. So that's just my little 2 cents.
Did you know that Anderson Cooper is a Vanderbilt?
It's a what?
Is a Vanderbilt?
It's in Vanderbilt, or he went to Vanderbilt, or what? What is that?
No, he is a Vanderbilt, like the family.
Oh, I didn't know.
Point.
Oh, first of all, I'm like,
I did not know that either.
I know the name is big, but I honestly don't know what they do.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into that later. I just wanted to state, because I actually found that out recently and I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, so he was good regardless. Like, you know, because I heard that story as well. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, either way, you were good. So, next.
Oh.
But,
wait. I was saying all that to actually ask a question about a point you brought up. And I started rambling. Now I forgot.
Yeah, because all Chima does is ramble. But even to your point in terms of, the job security or like making money, I think as long as the outcome is income, then, you know,
that's all that matters.
Hands ease up, like we said before. Like, even I remember, like, you know, starting this podcast and telling my mom, like, oh, I'm doing this podcast. First of all, she didn't understand it.
Yep.
So she was like, I don't get it. I was like, okay. The next question is, so where's the money? How much money is it gonna make? Blah, blah, blah. Like, everything gotta translate to $1. Like, is it though? Always.
Is it that? I mean, actually, because that's the point. I remember one point I was going to make, because it was based on what you said about a title and stuff like that. Are we more caught up in titles as opposed to maybe monetary value or the substance in the job? Because, you know, sometimes you may say,
absolutely.
You know, like I remember watching Roll Bounce, and Bow Wow's dad, he's an engineer who went for the building engineer position. And, you know, my brother and I laugh at this all the time, because a building engineer is literally a janitor. It's just a good name for a janitor, right? And, you know, I think sometimes we get so caught up in titles that even when somebody, say you're a vice president of a small company, right? Say I'm a vice president of so-and-so, but then somebody who's like a sales rep for a big engineering firm who's making maybe more than you, or the same in just in sales engineering, you know, we get so caught up in, oh, I'm vice president of so-and-so company, as opposed to, hey, I'm a sales engineer, even though he makes so much more money than maybe the vice president of that small company. You know, it's weird. I don't know. I just wonder, like, do we have that culture?
Yeah, we do. We definitely get caught up in titles and universal across the board. And I know I saw something circulating on Twitter, and it is very true in terms of, people ask what you do so they can basically judge how much respect they're going to give you. And
that's true. That makes sense.
If you're in a room talking with people and this person is like, oh, I'm in law school, or I'm a lawyer, or I went back to school to do this. Oh, I'm over here. I'm in business school. I'm actually getting my MBA, blah, blah, blah. Okay, next. I'm over here. I work for the UN, getting my master's in conflict resolution and blah, blah, blah. And then you sit there and you're like, oh, like, you know, you say something like, and not to even diminish what you do, but you say something real lax, like, I don't know, like you the manager at like McDonald's or something. I don't know.
Apparently managers at Chick-fil-A make like 6 figures, so yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that, but we'll get back to you on that one, guys. But a lot of times you say that, and it's like, okay. You know, it won't. Let's be real. If we're being real, because people will say, "No, it's just a job, and you're making money. Who cares?" Yeah. People care. Like, let's cut the shit. Everything is not all la la la, whatever.
But we've been so programmed to do so, though.
I'm a doctor. We're programmed because, you know, we're trying to be politically correct. But if we are being correct and honest, then we're going to sit here and say, if you sit here and say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm a doctor or whatever. And sometimes it's not even a doctor. I work in entertainment, you know, I produce television shows. I talk to these celebrities all the time. Okay, I'm a doctor here. I'm doing this here. I'm the manager at McDonald's. It's like, oh, okay, nice. Oh, tell me about med school. How's that go? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't carry the same weight.
So how do we unlearn that behavior though?
Honestly, and you know what's so crazy? I think I went to Mixer once where you weren't allowed to talk about
what you do,
like what you do or anything like that.
That's
like,
interesting.
Whatever, and it was very interesting because that's how most conversations start. Hey, hi, my name is blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what do you hear? Like, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. Naturally, like, people ask that. What do you do? Okay, if you're in school, where do you go to school at? Okay, I know some stuff. What are you studying?
That's interesting you say that. Yeah. Go ahead, continue. But
go ahead.
But I think it kind of, go ahead. Go ahead, Gloria.
So I think in terms of over there playing like records, like what you call it?
Rather that Geico commercial. You ever seen that Geico commercial when he's on the phone with you never seen it in the conference room? And I got sent it to you afterwards. Okay, those of you who are listening who watch television, you would know it, guys. Gloria lives in a cave. But continue, Gloria.
You're right. But either way, so damn, now I lost my point doing all that record sketching. What was I talking about?
Unlearning behavior, I think. Was it?
See, you wasn't even paying attention. Yes, but unlearning behavior. So the Mixer, right?
Yeah.
My point was we couldn't ask. So like, then the questions was like, it was a lot of you know, and people naturally say but just double that amount. So it was like, yeah, okay. So, you know, then you really realize that, damn, you base a lot of the conversations on what are you doing? And I mean, that's valid too, because working does take up a lot of your time. You know, you do spend a lot of time at work. So naturally, it does come up in conversation because you spend a lot of time there. Most times when you're at work for, you went to school for. So it's like a lot of these things does coincide. But once you take that away and try to get to the crux of, you know, the conversation, it's like, damn. You know, so in terms of unlearning behavior, I don't know if it could really be unlearned. I think you just have to put the emphasis elsewhere. You know, because people will always ask, what are you doing? And stuff like that.
But I think what that is, and again, this is me just thinking out loud, you know, just psychology. Kind of little tangent. I feel like I should have majored in psychology or minored in psychology, let me say. Because everything comes back to psychology, I believe. But I think this kind of goes back to like maybe a primal instinct of trying to classify yourself in like in a hierarchy, you know, who is suitable, who is there to mate, who is there for security. Because most times you ask them at what they do, right? It's to make sure that, hey, is this person suitable enough where I can maybe latch on to this person or have this person brought into my life so I can benefit from this person to make myself, you know, better in society, you know, because if you go to a mixer and a person says, hey, I'm a janitor, and the next person, hey, I'm the CEO of so and so, chances are you probably want to go talk to the guy who's the CEO because you feel like he could probably add more to your life because of the title. You know, if a girl, just like a girl, maybe two guys who look the same or whatever, and one says, hey, I'm the CEO, so the other says I'm a janitor, chances are she's going to go towards the CEO because, like, less struggle in life.
Chances are, Shorty is going to the CEO.
Unless it's a Tyler Perry movie, because then she'll go to his janitor because for some reason, Tyler Perry likes to show struggle.
The woman got to struggle.
Man, anyway, but that's why I think it goes back to this whole primal thing of hierarchy, trying to clash yourself. It's always, since the beginning of time, there's always been the higher man or the higher woman in society. So I think now it just translates to more so the job world, of trying to make sure that, hey, I'm the X, Y, and Z of this and that. And I don't know, it's so big with the African culture where you want to show that I have all these degrees. I have my BSc, my MSc, I have PhD, I'm a doctor. I'm like, yo, if you don't shut up, sir. But
like BSN, MSN, MP,
CISSP, MSG. I'm like, oh no, OPP, initials, me.
The initials. We doing it for the initials. MD, MBA, MPH with a certification and something. You feel like, the letters, the titles, the letters.
I don't know.
It's like, that's what we're looking at.
I don't know,
and
man.
So we do gauge a lot of it, and if we keep it in real funky with ourselves, guys, we know.
I won't lie. I want that too. I chase it. I chase it as well. Like,
Son, we all do. We sitting here and we're going for the next thing. What we doing?
Exactly.
Enough. It's like, what's the next degree? Son, I know someone who got 3 master's degrees. I know somebody who, we chasing the next thing.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? What's the next certification? And again, there's nothing wrong with
trying to better yourself.
Excel for excellence. But the best thing is who you doing it for.
That's true.
Doing it for the accolades so you look good or whatever. Because baby girl, baby boy, we can't take them titles with us when we die. And not to be on no Sido, like, namaste, I'll die at the end. But for real, we don't. So if we chasing these titles just to say, damn, like, we got it, like, make sure you're doing it for you.
That's real.
One thing I learned afterwards when I said, do you know how long it took me to muster up the courage to tell my parents I didn't want to be a doctor no more? Not only was I doing it for myself, I felt like I was doing it for them.
Yep.
As well. So it's like, damn.
Yep.
No, actually, I'm not doing it for you guys.
Word.
And I don't want to do it. So I ain't. And at the end of the day, my parents respected that. I laid it down the law.
Yeah.
Like, so, and as long as you're doing it for you and those accolades are going to get you to the next step where you want to be and where you need to be, that's completely fine. Listen, I love seeing people with the letters. Okay.
Word.
When I
especially my friends,
JD.
Yeah, I like to brag about my friends.
Don't get me started on my friends. Yep. Let me tell you something. You want a hype man? I'm your girl.
Yep.
And I genuinely love
facts
with my people.
Facts.
Son, I like to see the MD, MBA, MPH. I'm a teacher, a professor. I'm a businesswoman, a businessman. I'm an engineer on top of my class. I'm
facts.
A nurse, a BSN. I'm going for my master's. Son, I love that shit.
Yep.
Like, I really genuinely do.
Yep.
Like, big up, because either way, it takes work. Nobody want to be sitting here in school for 8+ years, 10+ years, 12, med school, residency, specialization. Like, no. Okay. I mean, we there. Would you prefer not to be there? Okay.
Facts.
So either way, if you got your bachelor's, if you got your master's, if you got a professional degree, son, we love to see it all. And you can have all them
big ups.
And I promise you, what's the next questions from your African?
Facts.
For your parents. When you getting married?
That's okay. That's a good segue because that's where I wanted to go with this. Now I know for the most part we talk about the professional side of things. Let's go into the love and the relation side of things when it comes to graduating from school. Now, if you're African or you've been around a lot of Africans, the running joke is, when will you marry after you graduated? So my question is to you now, what do you think the timeline is for an African child? Like, say, so what I mean by timeline, from what age to what age is school the focus? From what age to what age do you start dating? What age do you go for maybe another degree? And what age do you have children? Let's see if your timeline matches up with mine.
If you would have asked me when I was 15 when I first entered Temple. I would tell you the timeline is this. Well, I will give you my timeline.
Okay.
What I ideally had in my head. I was supposed to graduate at 20, right?
Okay.
By 25, I'll be done with med school. Then do
facts. That was me too, though.
residency, for me if I match, you know, and then specialize in dermatology. And so, honestly, around 30, everything was done. I was gonna get married in med school, or right after med school. Probably have my first child by like 26, 27.
Okay.
You know, and be done.
You said, wait, 26 or 36? 26. Okay. 26, 27. Okay.
Have my first child.
Okay.
So yeah, it was bam. It was like graduate at 20, be done by med school at 24. You know, specialize, have all that stuff done, and pretty much be done right before 30. I'll be married right after med school or so. Have my first kid around 27, 28, or 26 to 28. And that was it. That was my timeline. Okay. So everything done before 30 though.
Interesting.
The timeline has definitely changed.
Word. So, my timeline definitely changed. Changed like shit.
In so many ways.
So many ways. But I was thinking, I created like a generic timeline. This is also talking with somebody on the phone, trying to just gauge, you know, if we're on the kind of same page for African parents. And I think from like, I'll say age 0, I was when you're born, or kindergarten, to age 23. Cause nowadays, you know, people don't really, you know, with people graduating a little later, you know, stuff like that. I say the average age for the graduation now, maybe 22, 23, right? So I just say you're done your mandatory education, which is from birth to bachelor's degree. That is standard for maybe an African family or an immigrant family or a strict family. You have to at least, at the very least, you have your bachelor's degree, right? That's ends at 23.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 23 when you get your degree. For most women, it's obviously it varies if you're a man or woman, because most men get away with more things. Most guys are dating already before school. If you have a strict dad, you know, you don't want any boys in the house. So let's just say 23, you start dating, right? The average age for everybody. You start dating at 23. 20, by 20, maybe 25 or so to 28, you should be done, finishing up your second degree. So most likely your master's or maybe even med school, a professional degree should be getting done. Now around that same time, you should be getting engaged as well, right? So you should at least be getting engaged, or maybe engaged prior to that, maybe a year prior to that, and starting to set the wedding dates and stuff, right? Then by 29, 30, you should have had at least your first child. I think that's probably the standard timeline for maybe Africa. That's according to me. I could be wrong. Everybody, I would say, if you want to chime into this, please, tweet us, Instagram us, DMs. You could, I guess, text us.
Now, is this from the male perspective? Or from the male side?
This is from a male side. It's actually, because I was talking to a friend who was a woman who also gave me the same timeline as well. So it could be, I think this is general for everybody. Now, obviously you have your outliers who are the ones guys who are dating obviously most men are dating before 23 already. And sometimes some girls are dating before that, but I think this is like maybe a standard, I would believe, for everyone. I could be wrong. This is where you guys come into play and let us know if I'm wrong. You think it's a good timeline?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, the dating 23 is definitely a little younger.
It's younger?
Dating?
Yeah, I mean, for like most women, if you have like a strict African, like your dad is in the house and he wants you to start dating, like he's dating, not like, oh, I have this one boyfriend who is in school, his name is something, but like real dating where somebody's like, do you think this is going to be your future? I think anything before 21 is like practice.
I think a lot of people meet their mates in college.
Yeah, so yeah.
A lot of times they were dating like 21, maybe even younger than that. Like, But
it's not serious till you graduate though. It's internship. It's like practice. It's not the real thing. It's not the real job. That's internship.
Yeah, man. And it's an unpaid
Exactly, unpaid internship.
Lord of mercy.
They probably, maybe, if anything, maybe your mom knows of them. Your dad doesn't really know of them yet. Cause that's when you get the real offer letter, when you introduce them to the dad. You know what I'm saying? At least for me.
No,
No? I'm wrong?
Ooh. How many offer letters you?
Nah, nobody has ever met my father. No girl has ever. I've never told my dad about it. To this day, my dad probably doesn't know I've even been in a relationship. The day I tell somebody about my dad about the person I'm dating, then marriage is about to surround the corner. So then,
Ooh.
yeah. But my mom has known about everybody I've dated, though. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, the timeline sounds about correct. For my, let me speak specifically for my mother, because my dad is a little more liberal.
Oh, wow.
We don't really.
Yeah,
Just make.
Yeah, that's mad cool. Yeah.
Just make sure it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother, on the other hand, I've talked about her type of personality on previous episodes.
Shady. Shade queen. Nobody throws more shade than Gloria's mom.
Oh, bruh. Yeah, she is. But she's just real. Honestly, if she had it her way, I would have been married hella young. Cause one, she's wanted a grandchild since forever. Okay. So that's one. And then two, she got married at 24 and had like my sister, which is her first child, at 25. So, the timeline where I'm at right now is a little different. She was married, her first kid. So, I mean, this was even before I even got to this point. Even earlier, I could truly say in college, it's like, but it's not as, pertinent as it is now. It would just be a slight suggestion, like, I gotta make sure, you settling down soon, because, gotta have the babies, get them when they're young, yada, yada. But now it's constant. It's constant. Okay, so I want grandchildren. Okay, so I want this, I want that. And I'm like, can you relax? Like, and even when I say, oh, I kind of want to enjoy my husband before having children. When is the time, Gloria? When is the time? I don't think you have time to enjoy your husband. As soon as you get married, you need to start working on children. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? And she says this all the time. Now, I always say, now, mom, okay, because if you don't know, I come from a fairly, I guess, a big family, you could say. Like, I have a sister and I have two brothers. And so I'm like, mom, do you ever my brother's like this? Well, man,
we be, man.
She's like, it's a little different. Now, she don't even say all of that, because she knows that I'm going to start going on a little rant if she say men will be, So she's just like, well, I was like, no, mom, I actually don't know. What's the difference? Because we're all around the same age, And she's like, yeah, but I think you just need to have it now. And I'm like, and every time she say now, I'm like, well, mom, that's a lot of things that go into that now, so it could happen now. It's not going to happen the way you want it if it's now. Then she's like, then she relaxes a little when she sees what I'm getting at. She's like, all I'm saying is the clock is ticking. I said, the clock is ticking for you. The clock ain't ticking for me. I don't want to be rushed. And even though she does, give her hints here or there and, basically every other day, I still don't feel pressured as some people might feel when they get to a certain age of like, oh, I need to be married and have children and stuff like that. I'm still not on.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh my God, I'm almost hitting 30 and
honestly, I don't even care about all that. I don't even care about my mom had me when she was 26, which seems like a good age. But personally, I think I want to pull like a Barack and wait till maybe I'm 34, 35 to have my first child. Cause I want to enjoy some time with my wife as well. I know she's probably going to be on a timetable, but hopefully, she should be all right. I'm not in a rush to, and maybe we could do a back-to-back thing. I know a lot of people want to say, oh, I want to run around with my kids. I don't want to be too old. I don't think 40 is old, or 35. Like between 35 and 40, if you have a couple kids in that time span, that's not old, especially if you take care of yourself. Niggas just lazy.
That is not old at all. Let me just speak for my family as well, because my parents are 9 years apart. My dad was 33. when he got married, 34 when he had his
There you go, exactly.
Can I tell the difference? That shit does not matter. I cannot even tell the difference. First of all, my dad is, I don't know, how old is he now? 62, 63.
He does not look it at all.
I can't even tell. He looks good as hell. Well, first, he works out every day, so that's one. Two, so like, I don't know. I feel like if you put yourself in good shape, God bless, you'll be able to take care of your children. I get it. You do want to be a little, if you want to be younger when you have children, so when they get older, you still feel like you're, kind of young and maybe you can enjoy your life with your wife or your husband or whatever else. But, life is just meant to be enjoyed at whatever age.
And another thing.
So some people hustle earlier, some people
exactly. Another thing is that, like, I want to be, before I bring a child to this world, I don't want to be struggling financially to choose between whether or not I want to buy, some Uber Eats or diapers. Like, I'm not trying to make that decision. Like, can I have both? Like, I need to be financially.
Damn, I gotta skip out Uber Eats this week because baby needs pampers.
I'm not like, I understand that people always talk about this whole financial security thing, but I think I want to be at least somewhat financially stable before I bring a child to this world to know that, okay, I can afford the basic things like a babysitter, or I could afford daycare without seeing like I'm struggling. Like, I don't want to, at least a minimum salary of 6 figures before I bring a child into this world. Honestly, that's where I'm at with things, because I think it's just easier when you have money to put towards a child. Like, I'm not trying to struggle. I'm not trying to be focused on degrees and trying to move up in my office and also trying to worry about how I'm asleep because I have this crying 2-month-old in the crib. Like, nah, bro. I'm really not. I didn't come to this life to suffer. I did not come to this life to suffer, my people. So let's do this at a nice pace.
I mean, people have done it, and we commend you.
Listen.
I know it was definitely
big ups.
difficult because
big ups.
Truly. But to your point of being financially stable, I read this article, and I'm gonna try to see if I can find it and put it in the show notes. But the article was the ideal age now, currently, millennials, now, for women to have a child, they said, is 30.
Wow.
They said a woman is, usually more financially stable. They're a little more sure to handle, all the things that come with having a child. And when I say a little more sure, obviously this is all relative.
Yeah.
And to your situation, duh. And again, you gotta put disclaimers with everything now. But either way, like, they said 30 was the ideal age because everything pretty much is aligned at 30 is so we'll like.
Bruh.
They said, 30 is the ideal age. So I'm just putting it out there for somebody who like, my eggs is ticking. I'm cooking, shall I say. They disappearing, things and stuff like that. According to the research, obviously everybody's situation is different, but the research said 30. So don't stress yourself out.
I guess we can have we definitely need to have a marriage episode where we bring somebody as a guest on here. Talk about, marriage and the pressures of marriage and having children in our culture, because it feels like marriage is like the end all be all for women, and marriage is like the pinnacle of society. It's like the top where you need to reach to finally be successful in life, which is so dumb, but we'll definitely get to that in another episode. But I don't know. I'll just say all this to say, 30, I think from 30 is when your life begins. 20s are definitely for the degrees and your struggle to get yourself settled in a company, to get in your field. 30 to me, I think now with a little more perspective and experience in this life, because 15-year-old, 16-year-old me was just talking a bunch of nonsense, and had this unrealistic timeline in my life.
If I know then what I know.
It's so funny. Now. Like thinking that I have a Range Rover and I have this high class apartment in Center City by age 25. LOL, bro. LOL. Funny stuff.
Let me tell you something. And some people are still doing it.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
There are outliers.
A lot of people's timelines are messed up, but a lot of people are still on track. So, it's not even to discourage you. It's just painting our realities, a lot of people's realities, but some people are still out here doing their damn thing, and we're very
flourish, my guys.
Those people, definitely flourish. But let me tell you something that's even realer. What's realer is that, you know, a lot of people, I think 25 was that magic number. And I even said it before too. For a lot of people, I'm like, okay, by 25, if certain things are not figured out, I didn't say everything, but certain things, I'm like, what are you doing? Now I was like, I understand. You know, a lot of people was like, oh, I really thought if you would have asked me even at the start of college that I was like, oh, I'll be married and we'll probably have a child. 26, 27.
Funny stuff.
You know? So, and yeah, so it just goes to show, like, you know, the timeline is different, but everything happens in its due time.
For real.
And whether you got married at 25 or you got married at 30, bro, are you not married and trying to build your life and start something new? Whether you were married for 25 years or 30, it don't even matter at that point because that's a long fucking time.
Real talk.
Okay?
But,
and if you're in school and, you know, you grinding it out and you don't see the way out, like my mom always says, when you die, then it's finished. What does that mean? As long as you're still alive, you still gotta keep grinding out.
Word.
So if you hear and you like, damn, like I really don't know, you know, sometimes you really don't know, but we can't let that stop. So to all graduates, congratulations. Okay. From the Both Sides Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Don't play around. If you're in undergrad right now, if you're in grad school, listen. Sometimes play a little bit, but you can't play forever. Go to class.
Word.
Stop skipping. Okay? Just don't take them 3 absences, whatever, unless you really need it. Okay? Take them tests. Do your homework. Don't get caught up in the rah-rah. It's very easy to get caught up in the rah-rah and the foo-foo. Okay? It gets nice outside. You feel like going to class. Lazy. Whatever. Son, drag your ass to class.
That's all.
Unless you know you got in the bag.
Please.
You know. Cause I've definitely skipped a class to study for another one. And that's even
I mean, listen, what time is it? It's most of that time there. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Okay. God, I'm just testing out my voice privilege.
No more. Ooh, let me test on my voice privilege.
Oh, Lord.
Although we've come to the
end of the road.
Honestly, guys, my voice privilege is a little shaky right now because I am recovering from a cold.
Yeah, get your life together, guy.
But check me next week on that voice privilege.
Word.
Okay? Let me know how I did this week. It's a little shaky. Okay, like I said, I'm recovering from a cold. But check me next week.
Anyway, Gloria, do you have anything to plug before we head out of here?
No. Just check my Instagram and my
Word. Guys, I do have a few plugs. It is Temple's alumni weekend, so guys, you want to turn up, call up to Temple, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, North Broad Street. It's about to be litty. Tomorrow's move, I think, is Noto. You can definitely go to my page somehow and you will see the stuff somewhere. I have to put the stuff up so you can get tickets and stuff, but it should be litty. Day party from 2 to 7. I'm just throwing that nice humble plug for these other guys. We also have Pancake Social, guys, from my fraternity. It's a fundraiser. Please buy your tickets. Gloria hasn't bought hers because she's not a good friend, but hopefully you guys are great listeners and you will buy your tickets. It's only $10. So yeah, support us. And finally, I think I did have something.
When is the Pancake Social?
It's tomorrow morning at 8:00, but you can still donate. You don't have to come. You can just donate. It's a fundraiser. It matters. Finally, June 9th, guys, we have the PA cookout for the alphas. If you like you some nice ice cold brothers, come through. We are there with some ape juice and a lot of liquor. A lot of liquor. You ain't liquor. A lot of liquor.
Chima is forcing me to go.
Yes, you should come. It should be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So I will be in attendance.
Yes, we shall be in Philly.
The Both Sides podcast will be
litty, and you shall see pictures and stuff from there from the cookout. Hopefully, it should be fun. And finally, guys, to those who graduated this 2018, congratulations to everyone. You did well. You did your parents proud. And I would like to say this before we head out from the Both Sides podcast. what's next. Peace.
Bye.